This is Desiree Spinks from Des and the Swagmatics, and you're listening to Danny Coleman's Rock On Radio.
Well, producer Claire.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello again.
How are you?
Oh, just dandy.
No kidding. All right. Oh, speaking of which, you see the Dandy Warhol's got some new music coming out?
Who?
I knew you'd be excited about that.
Dandy Warhol?
Yeah, Madison, the Dandy Warhols have new music coming out. See?
See? That was so phony you didn't even want to know. That was such a generational dig right there. You have no idea who they are, do you? See? I told you. Generational dig.
You knew who all them other punk bands were.
I'm typing an email over here. I'm working.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to stop. By all means, don't let me stop work.
That's right. I pulled her mic, too. That's the dig was for.
Yeah, because she pulled the mic. I got that. Welcome to Rock On Radio. I am your host, at least for now, Danny Coleman, coming to you from the 2-track studios of Deko Entertainment. And tonight, in the words of the old Ed Sullivan, we have a really big show. big show tonight. Mm-hmm. We do, actually.
You do?
We do. I know two of these gentlemen very well, another one somewhat well, and one not at all. But Frank thinks we've known each other a long time. But that's okay.
You will by the end of the show.
We will. See, I get all choked up when I'm with my brethren.
That's
So anyway, Rock On Radio is sponsored by O'Connor's American Bar and Grill of East Hampton, Mount Holly, New Jersey, the official caterers they are of Rock On Radio. The Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation. Go to jsjbf.org and see what the foundation is up to. Christine, the Zemlarian, would not divulge anything on the Christmas Spectacular when we had her in the air.
That's true.
But we did learn that I am never to use her name ever.
It's probably a wise idea.
Can you believe that? She actually looked at me. I said, so when I talk to him, should I? No, don't ever use my name.
And she likes you, which is really the amazing thing.
I remember when my mother used to like me.
That's terrible.
But that's okay, too. JSJBF.org. I think they're going to be heavily involved with that Springsteen archives once it opens up this spring or summer or whatever it is at Monmouth University.
Yep.
So they'll probably want me to produce some Lifetime Achievement Award or something. You find that funny, me too. I know.
Yeah.
Lillipies of Princeton, the official dessert provider of Rock On Radio. They are located inside the Princeton Shopping Center at 301 North Harrison Street in Princeton, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. I won a free donut at the
happy hour
yes,
last week. That's right. Yes. You won a free
donut.
Was it just the one?
Oh, I don't know.
Was in there?
I gave it to Josh Zuckerman, who
because I gave away two. One of them is for donuts and one is for coffee.
He opened it and said donut. So
he might be holding out on
it. But he's like, I'm not going to Princeton, so he gave it back to me. So I have a free donut.
He shunned your.
He did.
Well, what did you even enter for? I'm surprised nobody yelled.
You
fix.
gave out the tickets. Well, because I was kind of to the side. Didn't come running up. I was already up there, and I'm like, "That's my number," and you called it. So
okay.
Well, it could have been Mark's number, but he had already left. So
yeah,
it's possible.
He left you there.
That's right. Well,
to your own devices.
It's true. I was
and
producing.
vices.
No,
correct.
No vices.
Yeah, you one man walks away, you replaced with two.
Well,
Josh and Paul.
That's true.
It was good to see them
Yes,
at the
that was
happy
nice they
hour.
came out.
Actually, very nice. Paul Marzano did an outstanding
Amazing.
job at the Rock on Radio happy hour.
And he sung my favorite song.
He did.
One More Buffett song.
He was somewhat shocked when I told him to do. He's more than welcome to do original music. He's like, well, I didn't even think of it. I figured this is a cover crowd. I'm like, dude, you work for me. You play as much original music as you want. I am not going to slow your growth. So.
I'm not telling you to be quiet. Just move to the mic.
Most places want you to do, covers of this and that. And you write your own songs. Oh, well,
Get out. Correct. Correct. Which is actually why our guests are here tonight, because we're going to be talking about the Trenton music scene as soon as I hurry up and get through these sponsors instead of dawdling.
I stalled you on that one.
You did. True. Very true.
It's my fault.
I know. Dee Dee's Lights, the official candle maker, chandelier of Rock on Radio. Dee Dee makes all of our candles that I include. Actually, I got to make a gift basket up before February 7th.
What's February
and get that
7th?
over. Well, and this is probably the best contribution I will ever make with one of our gift baskets.
Okay.
It is to support the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Hamilton.
Okay.
That is a fine charitable event. Wouldn't you all agree?
I agree.
Considering where it ends.
He's looking very stoic on me over here, this one. And he's been here before. Maybe that's why he just realized, oh no, it's the same show.
Oh, yeah.
Dee Dee's Lights. Go to deedeslights.com. New Jersey Stage Magazine. Go to newjerseystage.com for the finest in arts and entertainment throughout the Garden State and beyond. And you can find my weekly column, Rock On This Week. Sound bites there once again, newjerseystage.com.
I don't know. Was it me?
I don't have my phone.
I don't think so. I've never heard that sound before.
That's it. Time's up. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, man.
So we were, where'd I go? Okay. NewJerseyStage.com. Asbury Park Vibes. Go to AsburyParkVibes.com. If you are a band, solo artist, realtor, anybody who has a need for a photographer that can do headshots, take live band photos, press releases, website bios, so on and so forth, and a fantastic podcast, go see Diane and Doug at AsburyParkVibes.com, which is where we also do the Christmas Spectacular.
Yes, which was wonderful this year.
Correct.
Very lovely.
That's why we love Diane.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the many reasons why we love Diane. Sinister Footwear. If you want to wear wild and crazy socks that depict just about anything on the planet, I myself have several pair of Marvin the Martian socks that I wear when I play golf. That's right.
You got a hole-in-one in one of them. Like
I
a real
actually did.
hole-in-one.
Fourth hole at Cream Ridge. I got a hole-in-one while wearing them socks.
That's it now.
Mm-hmm.
Martian socks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Marvin the Martian.
Do you wear them on the moon?
I do. Your earth creatures make me very angry.
I was just going to do that one.
Jeez.
I was just going to do that one. Those of
I'll
us
give
of
you the P-36 space modulator.
a certain age can do that.
Just very true. Very true. Go to Sinister Footwear, sinisterfw.com, and purchase any of those crazy socks. Use the promo code DCR Socks at checkout. That's DCR Socks, and get 10% off your order. Tyndall Road Brewery, the official beer provider of Rock On Radio. Go to Tyndall Road Brewery, which is located at 102 Farnsworth Avenue in Bordentown City, and ask for Danny's Pick. And they will give you a fantastic habanero coffee stout, roughly 10% alcohol by volume. And it is called, Frank, you want to guess what it's called?
The Danny Coleman.
Well, you go in and ask
Play
for
Your
Danny's Pick.
Originals. What?
You go in and you ask for Danny's Pick.
Okay.
And they will give you that beer. It's coffee habanero stout.
And what's it called?
My ex's soul.
The Devil's Brew.
Close.
That's
My
very
ex's
close.
soul.
My ex's
There
soul.
you
Same
My
thing.
ex's sold the devil's bread.
See, yeah, same
Exactly.
thing. It's cost $6.66.
Sure you guys don't know each other?
We great minds.
When it comes to beer, yeah.
See that? Correct.
That's only.
Thanks for bailing me out of that one.
Phoenix Art Supply and Framing, located on Route 611 in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, otherwise known as Southeastern Road. Jenny Schaefer has been providing quality art supplies and framework for more than 40 years. It's Phoenix Art Supply and Framing. And yes, we're at the 2-track studios of Deko Entertainment. That's the first thing I said.
I wasn't sure.
You weren't paying attention.
I wasn't.
I know. See?
I was working.
Boy, you
On
gotta-
what? What, Madison?
Yes, actually.
Good Lord.
Quiet.
All right. How can they find out about us, Claire?
They go to dcror.com, which is a short link for Danny Coleman's rockonradio.com.
Correct. Facebook, Danny Coleman's Rock On Radio, the number 2. And Instagram is at Rock On Radio, all one word, all capital letters. Now, in all seriousness.
Why
Say all
start?
seriousness, and she laughed.
Why start now?
In all seriousness. No, I am thrilled. I really am.
That's true,
I'm
you are.
thrilled beyond belief that these gentlemen have made time to come sit down with us.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, as much of a world-renowned actor that I am, you know, I can play any kind of Roman
Yes.
nobleman you want me to play.
Yes.
And I can be cast into hell by St. Peter by anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done both them things, by the way. As well as been a body double on an investigation Discovery Television. My
Wasn't it
film
like a
credits
dead
are
man, though?
my film credits are just lengthy. And so
So you're adding
but
to
no,
them.
so I am really thrilled because we actually have a real filmmaker here
Mm-hmm.
who, for whatever reason, and I blame those two over there, actually took the time to interview us here and came in and stayed with us for a very fantastic documentary which premieres January 31st at the Acme Screening Room right down the road here in Lambertville, New Jersey. And it's got a whole bunch of other dates because it's been selling out like crazy, which is fantastic. So the movie or the documentary, rockumentary, what is it, Art? What are we calling it?
I don't know. We have to make up a new name for it or something.
Thank you for that insight there. Art.
How about music documentary?
There you go.
We'll
Music
settle on that.
documentary
All right.
called Listen Up. It's Listen Up.
Trenton Makes Music.
Trenton Makes Music. Please welcome the filmmaker himself, Art Varga, along with Frank Pinto, Tom Krawiec, and Dave. Dave, what's your last name, Dave?
I don't have one.
Nice. He goes by Dave.
Dave.
My man. There it is.
It's what
See?
everybody needs.
Proving-
A heart.
Proving once again, Dave, that we just met half hour ago, no matter what Frank tries to tell everybody. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Rock On Radio, man. I am
Thanks for
I am
having us,
thrilled
Danny.
that you did come back. I know I joked earlier, but I'm very happy.
We're happy. Thanks for having us. We're really happy to be here. Thank you to you and Claire for inviting us back.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. You know, it's tough, like making that decision to come back here with how she is and acts. But I mean, look. Oh boy, here you go. She's gonna shut me off.
You waited till I'm standing and away from the mic.
Exactly. But Art, no, I am so I am glad that you guys are here because I think just a little bit in the trailer shows is enough to obviously pique interest because the film is so doing well already. It's sold out multiple showings. Tell us about the film and tell us why you decide, because you had a couple other successful documentaries, the J.B. Klein one, and so go ahead.
Yeah. Well, again, thanks again for having us on the show today. And first, I want to make sure that I pay homage to
Omelette du
the
homage.
three gentlemen sitting to my right here, because this film was really a group effort. Because it not only involves filming and talking to people, but there's original new music that's part of the film, and Dave and Frank and Tommy have all contributed major pieces to make this thing happen. So so I mean, how the thing got started, it's kind of interesting because we have to talk about a DJ. Not you, but it really started with...
I'm never on the list. See, that goes back to the story I was telling you before we went on the air.
DJ, not you.
A real one.
But one you are related to in music.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
true.
There you
So,
go.
so I don't make sure I have the name right. Is it Tom Cunningham?
Tom Cunningham.
Oh, Tommy. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At some point, we need to let Tom know that we're throwing his name around in vain here. But it really started with a Facebook post. So these guys made this. Dave Hart and Frank Pinto wrote a song 40 years ago called "Have You Ever Seen Their Eyes?" And it was part of a temporary banding of Trenton musicians who got together to raise funds for the hunger crisis that was going on in Ethiopia. So it was a tremendous event, tremendously successful. They raised a lot of money. All the musicians came in and played for gratis. And Tom posted a picture of the group from 40 years ago. And that photograph just sparked a whole bunch of discussion. It's like, oh, yeah, I remember that, and wasn't that great? And I saw it, and the only one from Trenton that I knew at the time, I didn't know any of these guys, or Tommy and Dave, but I reached out to Frank, and I said, tell me more about what that picture was about. And
Is that the picture where he looks like Springsteen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All of
He looks like
1978 to 85.
Right, exactly. Right. So I called Frank and I said, Frank, give me a call when you can. I got an idea I want to run by you. And I didn't know what it would be, but I just thought it was an interesting idea or concept. And I had him come over my house with Dave. And I said, what if we got this original group back together again and recorded a new song? And it's up to you what you want the song to be about. Now, again, world hunger was really the flashpoint 40 years ago, but, it's not quite the same today. But the whole point was getting these musicians who are still playing together today to reunite, create a song, and pay tribute to, the music of Trenton and what they did for 40 years. So, in no time at all, Dave and Frank huddled up and they wrote a song called Listen Up, Trenton Makes Music. And, well, no, it's called Listen Up. The film's called Trenton Makes Music. But they came over, like, within a few days of, with lyrics and music, and it was the beginning of, creating this new song. We went to Tom Rioch's Squirrel Ranch studio in Hamilton and started recording tracks. And then, over a period of probably, 3 or 4 months, we put the whole song together. And meanwhile, I'm filming the whole thing, right? This whole process of the group coming together again. And, it became apparent that this was really just one thread in a bigger story about Trenton's music scene and all of the talent that existed in Trenton back in the day of, starting, like, say, in the 60s. I mean, obviously it goes back before that, but, if we go back to the days of Duke Williams and some of these notable people that, whose talent just took them to the, some of them to the stratosphere, but some of them just, to playing to local audiences that just loved them to death, right? So, so that became kind of the broader story. It's the, that time and place in Trenton when music was great, when live music was everywhere, when you had talent everywhere. And so, it's kind of an intertwining of those two stories, the making of this new song with the reunion of all these Trenton artists and a bigger picture of the whole Trenton scene from back then.
Okay. And it was quite the scene back then. I was sitting here while you were telling us that. I was thinking about the old Duffy's Night Scene column, which I wound up inheriting. How do I say that word? Inheriting from when Duffy retired or whatever. Remember, and then Scott Frost took over that column. And when he left, the Trentonian, Jeff Edelstein threw it to me.
Really?
And I did that from 2010 to middle of 2014 for the Trentonian, for their check bounced. But the thing that I'm thinking about, like what you were just saying, and these guys will tell you, the old Duffy's Night Scene, you would open up the Trentonian and the entire centerfold was nothing but ads. Both pages of the paper, and sometimes beyond.
And that was a Monday night.
Yeah, right.
No.
But of where bands were playing that coming weekend or during the week, because like I think I said it in the trailer, if you were a musician in Trenton, you could play 7 nights a week back then, and you did, which is how I met you. I was 18 years old when I first met you.
And it's funny you talk about the Duffy's thing. That was like one of my Bibles. I'd open it up in class, first class of the morning at St. Anthony's, and sitting at my desk, and I'd be seeing who was playing where. I wasn't old enough to go out to the clubs, but I knew who everybody was by reading Duffy's column and looking at all the ads and everything and seeing these names. And it would just be, as soon as I hit 18, I became friends with most of these guys and all these people out there.
Yeah, and that's, you could play. Trenton had a thriving, that's because Trenton was thriving.
Trenton was thriving.
Even though the race riots in the late 60s did a lot of damage, that was mostly to downtown.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the outliers like the Berg and South Trenton and parts of East Trenton, and you could, you could play, just in Chambersburg, you could play 7 nights a week. There were so many corner bars and restaurants.
And you got to remember, there was music makers on all sides of the town. There was soul bands and funk bands playing over on the other side of town, like Radiation and the Four Souls and the Colt 45s. And they'd have their scene, and we had this scene over here. And then it was, we were talking about earlier the ethnic scene where you had Italian bands playing, you had a polka band playing, you had Ambassadors of Dixieland over here, you had Billy Kay, the lounge singer, over here, you had, so it was a thriving, and
Buddy Ricks on Elmwood was always all nothing but jazz. Yeah.
I used to play Tuesday nights there. I did Tuesday nights there for a few years.
The folk singers,
see,
the solo artist folk singers are out and everything. But what's neat about this is the genesis, talking about the picture that Art had seen with the artists and stuff, and there was all these guys from different bands coming together for this one cause, and that's what drew the whole scene. All those guys. There's always been this strong brotherhood of musicians who always came together, no matter what bands you were in. Somehow you're going to end up with somebody that you knew from this and this and this, and that's the genesis of this video or this documentary, where it drew from that. And Dave could talk of like how they started that and how it worked into today.
Yeah, Dave, how did you fit into this?
That's a good question, Danny. I'm glad that you asked me. And I wondered if you would, if Tommy had not passed it my way. But we're going to answer it anyway.
Well, I was going to work my way down, but so are the best laid plans.
So part of the problem is I jump right up too fast. And things, so yeah, we know.
Whoa!
I slept through most of that. Thank you very much. No. In truth, I was very lucky, very fortunate to be on the periphery of the music scene back in the back in the 70s and 80s. But I had some chops, not very good chops, but I played in a local band, and we did mostly covers, so we never worked. No, we actually played nothing but originals, which is why we.
That's why you never worked.
That's why we never worked. But the good fortune occurred when you heard about Band Aid and Live Aid, and that all hit at the same time, and we got inspired locally to do our part. And I was I was lucky enough to have an idea for a song, which I did steal from Creedence Clearwater Revival, partially. But I made sure that I hired Frank to help me hide that. So Frank and I worked on this tune, and we brought in another contributor. And as luck would have it, the reaction that we got to the song when we played it for some of our fellow community musicians was absolutely overwhelming. So we got the idea, okay, let's make this real. We went into the studio, we cut a 45, and then we set up a concert at City Gardens, actually 2 concerts, a day and a night concert, and all the money that we generated, and it was a couple $1,000s from the sale of the 45, and for the concerts went to World Vision International, which then sent it on to the famine-starved country of Ethiopia. So the one thing that that Art didn't say, here we are 40 years later, and we won't be here 40 years from now, which is why we're doing this.
Speak for yourself.
Depending on how I act, you might not be here 4 minutes from now. I had enough.
But we'll get it done.
Yeah, I think one thing to add to what Frank was saying about playing 7 days a week or 6 days a week, that one of the impacts of that is that you could make a living as an artist. As Frank says in the documentary, he says, I could pay my rent, I can pay my bills, and I could even have a little bit of fun, and just the money that I'm making from playing out and doing what I love to do every day. So I think that's another kind of aspect of that was then, and we don't have that environment today in the music world.
No, you don't. I mean, I've been pretty heavily involved with the Asbury Park music scene since '04, and I've watched just that, the way that has turned over, especially since COVID. The venues just aren't there anymore. The beauty, I think, of what you're doing, and I haven't seen the film.
Nobody has.
Nor have we.
Okay, well, I mean, I didn't. Assuming you saw it,
He
Art,
sle-
you
he-
made it.
He slept through most of it.
Hey, wait, he's not done yet. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
He slept through
Sorry,
most of
Art.
it.
The beauty of it is that during those days in the 70s or 60s even, you guys remember, and I think you talked about it on that radio show with Randy 10, 15 years ago, the Monkey Men.
that's right.
You remember?
The Monkey Men, the original Monkey
The
Men.
original
yes.
Monkey Men. These guys were doing.
Duke Williams as the Galaxy's 4 when he was still using his real name,
Chris Holmes.
Chris Holmes. Jeez, I can't. Chris Holmes. He made me. Duke has made me forget it. But yeah, these guys go back to the '60s. They Duke was doing it before the Beatles. He wasn't inspired like the Big Bang moment where 99% of the people around picked up a guitar and realized they can make music. Or were going to make music. Duke was doing it before that. He was listening to Little Richard records and all the soul, Jackie Wilson and stuff like that, and that's where he came from and stuff. So these guys have been around.
And in that day, though, you could play original music. I mean, look, my band did it, but we were only teenagers, But you could if you wanted to. An entire night, probably not, because, like you said, Dave, cover material.
Prime example is Ernie White when he had his band Wind. Wind was just so good that they could do their dance stuff to keep people satisfied, but throwing in originals for the nights, soon enough, their original music was just as popular as any covers they were doing. They could play, bars and play dance stuff, nights and fill it in, and then they can announce, hey, we're playing a concert at Trenton State College, come out and see us and just do an all night of originals, and it'll still be packed with the same people who would come out to dance to them, were coming out to listen to them.
And there's only 2 bands around here now that prior to the pandemic could do that too. The guy who wrote our theme music, Charles Larita and the Mischief, and Honey Spot Boulevard.
Yeah.
They play original music, and people would come out. And it didn't matter. They didn't.
Right.
They were at the point where cover tunes.
They throw in cover tunes as a novelty.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So when you decided to undertake this, now is this chicken or the egg? And what came first, the song or the film idea?
The point that you're making about the history of the music in Trenton became pivotal about our thinking. Originally, It was just going to be a recreation of the Have You Ever Seen Their Eyes song, and maybe update it, that type of thing, and get a reunion of the players from 40 years ago, those who were still in the area and able to play. And there were plenty of them. I think we figured there were 7 or 8 of the original 10 or 12 that were still around in the Trenton area. And even those who are not are still basically playing, but somewhere else. So we thought that would be good, but the point that stopped us was the cause. We didn't have that lightning rod cause of the famine in Ethiopia.
World hunger, yeah.
And so we decided among us in one of those skull sessions that we had without drugs to sit down and marry the idea of the celebration of the 40th anniversary of the making of Have You Ever Seen Their Eyes with a commentary on the history of music in Trenton. And that's where we got Tommy involved, because he's like an encyclopedia of all these bands, although we probably should have gotten you too, Danny, because you seem to be hand in glove with this guy. And so we made the song, Frank and I made the song into a tribute to both the old song and to the history of Trenton and to the future of Trenton and its music.
Well, if I had known you were looking for a cause, I would have just showed you my bank account. Funnel that stuff right on over there.
Well, and the cause, nobody said it's going to the Trenton soup kitchen.
Yeah, all of our proceeds are going.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, that they like
Like Ernie's Christmas show.
yeah. Well, whatever is left over after we got it. Stick it in, because the places aren't doing it for free, showing it, and also,
all the net proceeds are going to task.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Oh, that's good. Nice. So when you decide to undertake something like this, Art, what's the actual process? I mean, do you have a staff that you have yourself, or do you have to assemble the cameramen and the grips and
Kate?
Or are you the guy? I mean, when you came in here, you were the guy.
No, I am the guy, and from the filming side, and this is the third documentary that I've done, as you mentioned earlier, and I guess I pride myself on being able to create something with no funds or minimal funds that may entertain some people, right? So I think everything that we've done so far is a sort of a community topic. I mean, this I hopefully has a broader appeal, because there's some just great stories about the human condition in this. But I think more than anything, people who grew up in Trenton, or are musicians, will really relate to it. So that's kind of the stuff that I gravitate to, is just something that the local people will just really embrace, and that becomes an easier lift than trying to do something that's a gigantic story and a 3-hour-long documentary. And
well, okay, recently there's been some success with rockumentaries. The Billy Joel one everybody was talking about, and there was one right before that. Everybody talked about the Queen movie and how close to, what was that, Night at the Opera or Bohemian Rhapsody, whatever it was called. So I don't know how to phrase this question without getting in trouble.
Isn't that every question you ask?
Pretty much. All right. Okay, so exactly, because when you were just answering whatever that last question was I asked you.
Do you work alone?
I get engrossed in my own thoughts.
That's why you have a producer.
That's correct.
He always is engrossed in his own thoughts.
Yeah, I'm just pretty gross. So
That's true.
what happens is, you were just saying how you're doing this in hopes that the local scene and music and so on and so forth will come out to support it. And now, when you're a filmmaker, like whoever did the Billy Joel documentary, I mean, he's world famous. Everybody knows who Billy Joel is. Everybody knows who Queen was. Everybody knows, if you're making a film about Live Aid or Hands Across America, whatever it might have been, everybody knows these people because they're famous. Mm-hmm. Now, you got guys like us who are either famous in our own minds or to the local people. once those initial screenings are over and done with, how do you think? And this goes back to where I was going before with I haven't seen it yet, or but how do you think you're going to be able to keep it going? I guess is my question. How are you going to draw interest or attract interest in a film?
If I may, I'll step in on.
Go ahead,
on
Dave.
Art. I really think what Art was saying earlier is this has a universal theme that when you think
That's what
about
I'm
it-
looking for. Thank you.
You're right. When you think about it, post Beatles, thousands and thousands and thousands of kids picked up guitars and drums and basses and worked in their basement, worked in their cellar for that day when they would become, at the top of their game, another Beatles. And that's just in Jersey. Probably nationwide, it's millions and millions and millions of people. Well, on the base level, Art's documentary and the story that we've told through the song and through photographs and everything else is that same story for people who we have had contact with, but it could be the same story for somebody in Poughkeepsie, New York, or someplace in Alabama or Ohio. It's the same story. Some of them make it, some of them don't. And the many who don't make it, and there are an awful lot who don't make it.
More than do. Yeah.
That's right. Would like to know how those who didn't but got to a certain level fared in life. And I think this shows it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty well said, Dave. Well said.
I think
Thank you for
I've been
think-
listening to Art.
I think also this will reflect the brotherhood that we have in the Trenton music community, which I'm sure is universal across other music communities. But we do really have a strong bond in the Trenton music community. You talk about being a part of the Asbury Park community, of course, very strong over there. And Asbury Park music is highly touted, all over. But I always took issue that it was basically that's the Jersey sound for the whole of New Jersey. That's the East Coast of New Jersey sound. We're over here on the West Coast of New Jersey. Trenton has its own sound, its own scene, its own musical heroes, and some who've gone on to just as big, maybe they're not a Bruce, but they've worked to high levels and made great music and everything. And it's time that, some of the best music never heard gets heard.
The whole thing about it is it's not how far you go with something. It's it's all about the music. That's why I
the journey.
started. It's the music.
No,
It's
it
not-
it really is.
It's not like the limousines and all that stuff. It's the music, and that's why I started, because I got bit by this bug, and I haven't found they haven't come up with a cure yet.
No, it's true.
Thank
if
God,
you're a
yeah.
musician, it's
Same reason he picked up the drumsticks.
Sure.
Same
Absolutely.
reason.
I
It's
know
all,
Danny knows what I'm saying.
it's all that universal
Dave
thing.
knows.
well, and I know that I can't tell you. I lost track of how many people have come on this program over nearly 17 years now and told me the reason I started playing was because I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. When I first met Joey Kilday, and then we later Tommy Glover, Joey Kilday and the boxer Kenny Bogner, his brother Joe. They were up in Joe's attic on the corner of Hamilton and Olden Avenue writing original music at the age of 13, 14 years old. And it was all Beatles influenced stuff. As a matter of fact, I used to tease Joe all the time about, do you ever write anything that doesn't sound like "And I Love Her"? For God's sake, let's rock. But and I still tease him about that to this day.
Well, he's got the sweet voice that could get away with doing that.
Well, and then we added Tommy Glover too,
them
and so on and so
guys-
forth.
Them two guys together, forget about it. It's
Yeah,
like-
right. Well,
And you, because you're part of it.
Yeah, but
for you.
I was a drummer. I was in the back, man.
Hey, what are you trying to say? Musicians get here at 8, drummers at 10? Is that what you're trying to
Drummers at 6, musicians at 8. That's what happens.
What's cool about this whole thing is that Art is an outsider looking at this whole thing and thinking that this is interesting enough that would make a good story to tell.
Well, okay.
And he knew that, as he's meeting these musicians and then seeing how they play and seeing what they do, kind of like, okay, these are of quality. And it's neat watching the whole thing where these guys wrote this great song and take it over to Tommy Riox and start piecing it together. And then you got to bring in voices to sing this and musicians to play this. So who are you going to bring in? You're going to bring in the best cats in the city. So you're bringing in Ernie, you're bringing in Paul, you're bringing in Joe Zook, you're bringing in Jerry Monk, you're bringing in Joey Kramer, you're bringing in Billy Hill, you're bringing in Meg Tobias, and it building upon that and everything. Art's capturing all that, so it shows that brotherhood. But then, like Art's been bringing in interviewees to talk to in the movie and stuff, and giving a thumbnail sketch in the history of the music scene. So that makes it interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys had to say, because some of these people, I just know from watching them perform or listening to their music, but having them talk about their history in the music.
And I think people will learn something too from this. I grew up in New Jersey, Central Jersey, not far from Trenton. I didn't know any of this. Right?
Well, that was going to be my next question.
I didn't know any of the names. Again, the first person I met was probably 6 months ago. I ran into Frank at the Starving Artist Cafe. And he said, "I'm Frank. I'm from Trenton. Here's my CD."
$8.
That's his.
And that was it.
That's his standard method of operation. Don't worry about it. That's Frank.
So then when this thing came up about Trenton, I said, "Who do I know from Trenton? Oh, Frank. Let me call Frank."
Well, where are you from
Here's a
originally,
CD.
Art?
I'm from Edison.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I
So
mean,
that's that was more like the New Brunswick scene.
Central
up there.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A sidebar, Danny, just before we leave the topic of the Beatles, because we know the influence they had on the world. But some people are going to find out in this movie that they had not only an indirect but a direct influence on the city of Trenton. There is a Beatles connection, a couple of Beatles connections that there are a lot of people who don't know about, and they will find out about that in the documentary.
I will stay silent because I
Make
know
sure you do.
I know of who you speak.
Right.
I
But
do.
there was one thing though, when Art first said something to me and Dave, we're driving home, saying, "Okay, what are we going to
Scared
do?"
shitless.
Yeah. What are we going to do? And besides that, who really cares? That was like who really
No,
cares about
that's a legitimate question, because it's kind of like what I said to you, Art. I mean, who's going to care about beyond the people in this room and people that grew up in that time frame?
Well, that's what blew us away, because as soon as we started to leak out, like on Facebook, what we were planning to do, I mean, people were like jumping in all over. Oh my God, that's great! Oh, we really need
About
that.
time, yeah.
And it's
You
about
gotta
time.
figure, not for nothing. I don't mean to cut you off, but not for nothing. The first show sold. You're talking 80 seats, and then the second show sold in 3 days. You're talking another 80 seats. I mean, and it's a local thing, so 80 seats is a lot.
Will there be a red carpet?
Yes, it's going to be.
Champagne,
Big
supermodels.
a big light out front and wave them back.
Yeah,
And
you got a
you look out
searchlight,
your window
Art?
out here. Big searchlight. We're getting an arc light. Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool.
I think, the first show on Saturday night is going to be fun, because I think most of the people in the film and most of the musicians are going to be coming that night.
Right.
And there's going to be a lot of reunion taking place, people just not seeing each other for a long time and reminiscing. And so it's going to be a fun
Magical.
night.
It'll be
You-
magical.
January 31st.
You know how us Trenton music folks are when we get together. You've seen it firsthand, so
I've lived it.
You
I'm
know
still
what it's gonna
living
be.
it.
You
I'm
know
still
what it's
living
gonna
it.
be.
Well, why don't we get to some music, because we could. Well, go ahead, Tommy. You're
No,
the
I was going to
music
say.
man.
I was say, can I throw a song out for you? Can we play the first? I think it's first track I gave you of
Alliance?
The Alliance. Yeah, this is a song, basically the genesis, the very beginning of where Art saw the picture, and this is the song that goes along with the picture.
And this is the song that's called.
Have you ever seen their eyes?
Written by Frank and Dave and
Frank and Dave.
And
we had help from another class.
Marty Hedgie.
Marty Hedgie.
Okay. All right, great. Do you have that? What? You ready
Yes, I
there,
do.
producer Claire?
Yes, I am.
All right. Go ahead.
Lord, the hungry feed the poor. And while we search for life on Mars, how is it on Earth nations store? Can we change the way they live with the gifts of love that we give, that we give? While some governments sit by, slowly watch more people die. Watch them die. Have you ever seen their eyes? Heard the little children as they cry. Tell me, have you ever seen their home? A bitter land where famines grow. We gotta try and help out. Help out. Oh, have you ever seen their eyes? Have you ever seen their eyes? Seen the tears in their eyes? Have you ever heard their cry? Have you ever heard their cry? Take a look, take a real good look. Have you ever seen their eyes? Have you ever seen their eyes? Have you ever heard their cry? Little babies cry. Have you ever heard their cry? Have you ever seen their eyes? Have you ever seen their eyes? Have you ever heard their cry? Have you ever
Rock On Radio with the guys from Listen Up, Trenton Makes Music documentary. Its first screening right down the road in Lambertville, New Jersey, January 31st. That's at what time, Art?
Yeah, so let me let you know that the first two shows are sold out. So the January 31st and the February 1st show, but we just added a third show, and it's going to be on February 7th, Saturday, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
At the Acme Screening
Acme
Room.
Screening Room.
Which is, I want to say, what is that?
It's on
11
South Union Street in Lambertville.
Okay. I think it's number 11, South Union.
You can't miss it. There's a big
Acme.
Acme
There
Screening
you
Room.
go. All right. I'll have to remember that. So, websites and everything, how do people at home look this up?
If you go to the Acme Screening Room, they have the film synopsis listed out there. There's a trailer out there, I believe, or maybe not a trailer, but you can purchase tickets on their website. And
Okay.
There's a couple other media things. Dave, you want to talk about what some of the other things?
Yeah, we just had a story written about the project that appeared in Community News. The Trenton Downtowner carried it. last week. They're in their January publication. The similar story is going to be appearing again in print in the U.S. one on January 28th. And if you are not a paper reader or print reader, you can go online to the Community News website and you can find the story itself. The reporter's name, journalist's name, reporter's sounds a little low grade, for the story that was written was by Susan Van Dongen. And she did a really terrific job after interviewing several of us to get the story straight.
Nice.
There is also a trailer for the film that you can access by going to Listen Up, Trenton Makes Music. Just type that into YouTube and the trailer will come up.
Okay. I'm actually, producer Claire, I'm actually in the trailer.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I'll put it on our page.
Oh, well, thank you for that. That requires you got to pay attention.
I've been.
Oh, all right.
May not look like it, but I've been.
Madison's looking over your shoulder over there. Madison, on Wednesday, or you're not going to be you weren't at the show a couple weeks ago. There was no imaginationship involved in this, was there?
I was there for that.
Imagination.
Well, she wasn't here.
Oh, I saw you. You were with George Washington crossing the Delaware.
Yes. I held the lamp. See? So Frank, you're a Trenton guy.
Yes, sir.
Did you grow up in the Burg?
No, my relatives were in the Burg. I grew up on Garfield Avenue.
Okay.
Corner of Garfield and Walnut.
All right.
Over there, and I ended up moving into the house that I still am living in on Mott Street in 1973, and I'm still there, baby.
During the heyday.
Yeah.
Of the Feast of Lights.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to lock your door,
Yeah.
May I add?
Now I got bars on my windows. So.
Instead of a bar on every corner, a bar on every window.
A bar on
now.
every window now. Yeah.
And may I add, Danny, that Frank Pinto is Trenton's greatest hidden talent musically.
Please.
And someday the world will know.
They will find him.
Hopefully they're going to find him in this movie.
I hope so. Oh, there he is. I'm more fascinated that I actually made it into this movie and made it into everything. When the article came out in the paper and everything, and it said vocalist Tom Krawiec, I went, ruh-roh.
But you do sing on it, Tom.
I
so
do.
that-
Look, I'm happy I made the trailer. True story. I joked at the beginning about my acting career, right? I was asked to be in a special about the Pope on CNN years back. And I spent a day in Philadelphia at, I want to say Girard University, maybe, or whatever. Anyway, it is constructed just like an old Roman Senate from back in Roman times. And I was sitting next to a gentleman who's a local musician, actually. He's the actor in the movie Righteous Jolly. I don't know if any of you know Righteous or not, but Righteous is assassinated in this movie by one of the people who thought that the Pope was getting too powerful, or he was a threat to either way, he was assassinated. I'm sitting right next to him, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to be all over this film, right? Nope. Cutting room floor, that went. Before I left, they said to me, hey, if they give me a tunic, and they're like, we need a Roman nobleman. So I go back over, and that's the scene I wind up.
That thermos,
right? That's it. I'll tell
Not
you.
enough.
I'll show you later. A Roman nobleman, and that's the scene that winds up getting kept. I'm sitting there with Emperor Constantine while he's decreeing
Looking interested.
freedom of religion. That's right. So the edict. So and then even with the investigation discovery, I was in a body double for a bunch of scenes, and I made it in one that lasted about 22 seconds. Everything else wound up on the cutting room
So
floor.
Roman noblemen What is the fascination with Roman baths?
I will show you.
Oh God.
We have a Roman bath right on the other side of that wall, actually.
Really?
Ah.
Can we take a break, play
Check,
another song?
check, please. I have
You
to go.
didn't know what you're getting into when you signed with Deko Entertainment, Frank Pinto.
I'm ready.
Good Lord. So Frank,
Yes, sir.
you remember, well, all of us remember, or maybe not you, Art, because you weren't from around this area, but we all remember the days of when bands could play original music or mix it in with their covers like Tommy was talking about earlier.
Every band I was ever in, except for one, because it was a 60s cover band, Deja Vu, we called it, with Mike Hudak.
Which is where I met you.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
We used to share, we alternated months at the Manor Hotel over on Whitehead Road.
Yeah, yes. Oh, my goodness.
The Manor Hotel, for those
Yes.
of you who aren't familiar.
Yeah, and, every band that I was in played original music, and some more than, more songs than others. But, like now, at this point in the game, I try to do at least like 50%. I'll do 50% covers. Start to set off with something then blast you with about 4 or 5 originals, and then head out of town, at the end of the set with, some covers. Kind of do it that way these days. And, we're playing, and I can't see it. There's no reason. I don't see a reason at all, and this is just me. Playing other people's songs, Bob Dylan ain't playing one of my tunes tonight anywhere.
Shame on him. Shame on him.
Yeah, thank you. But it's I can't see doing anything else.
Well, I remember back in the early 80s when the band I was in, we would play the Manor Hotel on Friday, Saturday night.
Right.
Sunday nights, we would play the Red Carpet
Okay.
on Cass and Hancock.
Sure.
And then Monday nights, then we would play like at Casey Jones or something out on Route 130 in Hamilton.
Right.
And so there's 4 nights a week.
Easy.
And I had a day job. Thank God I was only 18 years old, but I had a day job. I had to be in at 6:30 in the morning, and I had to pick the mail up from the Princeton post office off Alexander Road at 6 a.m. I was getting home at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
and unloading drums.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't hear anybody telling them stories.
No,
today.
nobody's.
I did in the 80s. I was pretty much able not to have to work. I was making enough money to pay the. I owned the house at that point, but pay the taxes. Do this. I had a mortgage and eat. I like to eat. Then have a little fun. A lot of fun. But there was so many places to go. Plus you play outside the area. You go to Philly. You get Penn City, Shore, stuff like that. There was an agent involved. That got me.
Yeah, you guys were a very, very big band back then.
Well, it
Deja
wasn't
Vu.
so
You
mu-
played everywhere.
Yeah. There were bands, solo. Would do duos. Whatever it took. Because you wanted to. You didn't want to have to. I kept on trying to stay away from a job because I never saw the reason for it.
I don't blame you.
As a fan looking for entertainment back then, because I wasn't just
Tommy used to come up and sing.
I used to go out and see all these acts, so I could take any night of the week and go to any different places and then hear any different style of music that I wanted to, and every single one was good. I think Jerry Monk in the trailer had talked about, there was a band on this corner, there was a band on this corner, and every single one was good. And as musicians, you guys would go out and see these guys yourselves, and you were getting a lesson at every place. You're picking up things from other fine players that you're taking back to yourself. Ernie White talks about going out to see Joe Zook and stealing Joe Zook's licks, and and Joe Zook made a comment like, "Yeah, well, I want my licks back." I said, B.B. King wants his licks back. So, but there was just, there was a nice sharing of music and a nice sharing in this whole brotherhood of music and everything. And there was guys in Trenton who, we're talking about everybody who's played around the clubs and played around the whole scene, but there was people who transcended the whole Trenton scene and took their talents to a whole another level, who, through luck, talent, and a combination of things, had made it bigger.
Richie Cole.
Richie Cole.
Richie Cole,
Richie Cole is a saxophone kid from Ewing High School.
He toured the world.
He
right?
goes up to Berklee College of Music. Buddy, in his sophomore year, I think it was, Buddy Rich comes in, and he was friends with the music teacher up Richie's music. I need sax player, and we'll check this kid out. Checks out Richie Cole. He's out on the road, going out on he was probably all 19, 20 years old, and he's playing the world with the Buddy Rich big band.
Maury Muehlhausen.
Maury Muehlhausen, he's got a little record thing going, and Jim Croce it was his side man at that time, and Maury's record didn't go anywhere. It was good. It didn't go anywhere at the time, but Jim Croce put a record out, and they said, all right, let's switch. You be the front man, I'll be the back man. And that hit, and they both enjoyed the success, of those two. Sarah Dash, Nona Hendricks. Two church singing girls from Trenton hook up with two church singing girls down in Camden, Patti LaBelle, or I forget what her name was before that, but Patti LaBelle and Cindy Birdsong. A guy put them together. They become the Bluebells. They have a little hit. They start moving up the charts and everything. Right. Cindy Birdsong gets yanked from the band and goes, and she's a Supreme all of a sudden. She's on Diana Spears. LaBelle goes out and on the road, and they put out Lady Marmalade a few years later, and boom, an explosion, an iconic song.
Sarah Dash ended up with Keith Richards.
Yeah, Nona Hendricks, also with Expensive Winos. She sang with them too.
I don't know if any of you knew Sarah, but she was.
I've heard so many great stories from her.
I didn't know her, but I had the opportunity to spend an entire day and evening with her. There was a candlelight concert for epilepsy where the house band was me on percussion, couple of Philly session guys, one on drums, one on keys, Paul Pesco from Live at Daryl's House, the guitar player, and he toured with Alicia Keys and I think Beyonce, and the bass player and music director was Doug Wimbush of Living Color. Yeah. And I'm looking around like, somebody pinch me, man, wake me up, But Sarah, it was a Sam Cooke tribute, and Sarah Dash was one of the performers, and what a sweetheart.
Oh my God, I heard so many good stories, about her and stuff. She was a very down to earth, great person. Your friend of mine, Tony Salvo, used to see Sarah, every once in a while and interact with her and stuff. He said she was just this real nice lady.
Yeah,
and stuff.
She was a sweetheart. She really was.
And that's the Trenton people. That's that's what they are. They're all homegrown and still the same. She came back to Trenton and did good things for the area and everything, which is awesome.
Yeah. Now how much of that's in the film?
There are pieces of that in there, but again, there's so much. I mean, I ended up with probably about 20 hours of interview footage, and and there's a lot of footage from the studio of these guys recording and everything. So obviously we're limited to what we put in there, but I think we've got enough stories in there that kind of give you the message of who the Trenton people were and what the spirit was.
Well, how long is the film?
Hour and 15.
Okay. Oh, all right. So it's not bad.
Yeah, we want to.
When he first pitched it, I said, you're going to need a lot more time than you think for this, because I had seen his J.B. Klein documentary, and I'm thinking, you're going to need 6 nights, 2.5 hours a night with commercial breaks.
Well, I told these guys, Trenton's a little bigger story. It's going to be 45 minutes instead of 35
that half
minutes.
an hour. But so I'm interested to see how he, tells the story and stuff. We're looking for.
So it's an hour 15. I'm on the floor. I'm on the cutting room floor. We know
you
that.
made the trailer.
You made the trailer. That's a good sign.
You're in there, Danny. You got to sign up to IMDb. Get your name in the database there.
Oh, no, that's right. Actually, I want to do something, Tommy. I'm going to do this because if I don't, I think Joey Kilday's head will explode. Joe Kilday, I love Joe Kilday to death, and Tommy Glover, all those guys. I don't know. In all your research, did you ever come across any other kids our age doing original music that way,
No.
or let alone recording with Tommy Miralda?
No, that is what impressed me the most. So the story goes, I had a young friend who handed me this tape and said, he knew I was into music and working with bands and things. He says, Tom, will you listen to this tape my friend gave, my friends recorded over Tom Miralda's studio. And these kids were all St. Anthony High School, 14, 15 years old, and went in the studio and recorded this thing. I said, sure, I'll give it a listen. And I was expecting covers and stuff like that. And they were doing original songs, and the original songs were good. And then I'm finding out PST was like playing their original songs, and people were digging it. So I was very impressed with these guys. Now, I'd worked with, I started working with bands when I was 14, 15 years old. Nobody was doing original music. The original stuff came later when I go see Ernie White and them guys playing in the clubs and everything. But you guys were like the first ones. And that's what impressed me the most about that tape and that recording. I was enamored with you guys, thinking, this is fantastic, what you guys had going.
And we appreciate that a lot.
You got that song here.
Yeah, I brought it with me.
The band was called Valhalla. Yeah. And this was like, Joey wrote this thinking of Bachman Turner Overdrive, taking care of business, that breakdown in the middle. And whenever we played it live, which is what it was written for, it always went over fantastic. And one thing I have to say, and I have to say now, and I'm going to make sure that he listens, there was a gentleman, when we gave out the credits for this song, there was a gentleman who played these really neat blues licks behind. Tommy did a great job of editing this, so you're not going to hear it at all. But there was a breakdown section that was real bluesy, and the gentleman played these great blues licks.
Yes, he did.
Underneath it, the guy's name was Mike Vitella, and I grew up with Mike. And his brother Joe, or Rock, as we all called him, Rocky, he was a drummer, and them guys used to jam together all the time, and they grew up in my neighborhood, and Mike played these licks, and when we gave out the credits after we came out of Miralda's studio, we forgot Mike on the credit.
And then I go and cut him. Oh, Mike, if you're out there, I'm so sorry.
But no, I'm just saying that, so hopefully anybody who hears this will hopefully, and I'm going to make sure Mike listens, or I'm going to clip this and send it to him, that he knows that, we appreciated him and have felt bad since 1979.
and I always liked the song, but I thought the center part, it was a great live song, but I was always going for the hit. As I reimagined the song, because I remixed it and moved some things around, I put it together as a 45 that was going to be played on the radio, that was going to bang, bang, bang to you and stuff. As a concert song, the way you guys did it was the way you did it in concert and stuff. Right. But, so I went and reimagined, and I appreciate you guys, are okay with the chopping up that I did and moving around that I did. But I wanted to make sure I did the song justice as an anthem, as the way you guys kind of intended it and stuff.
Well, and I promised Joe and Tommy Glover that I would play this song when you guys came in tonight.
Good. And
not let your efforts go for naught. So here's Valhalla, circa 1979-80, when this came out. I believe it was 80.
And produced by Tommy Miralda.
By Tommy Miralda, yep, at his studios. First time any of us ever went in a recording studio.
He we recorded Have You Ever Seen Her Eyes? This first song that we played.
Oh,
at
okay.
Tommy's place.
Back in the first one.
Yes,
okay.
the first one, yeah.
Yep, because he, the 2-inch analog tape.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Tommy saying, "Oh yeah, I just went to 24 tracks," and it was like, "Whoa, this is real stuff," And it was, and Tommy was great. He taught me a couple valuable lessons in just a couple of days we were there. So, here's Valhalla with a song written by Joe Kilday and arranged by the entire band. Here's a song called "We're All Right."
we're cutting loose. Oh, wanna be no two-time losers. We just can't let it happen again. They like to call us underachievers, but the same thing was said about them. We gotta live for the night, feel for the day, 'cause we have to show them everything's okay. Well, let me show ya, we're alright. Well, let me hear it, we're alright. Come on and tell me we're alright. We're alright. Well, let me show ya, we're alright. Come on and tell me we're alright. Well, let me hear it, we're alright. We're looks like they're all against us, but don't let it bring you down. Remember we're in this together, and just look at all we found. Beware of certain people, they'll take you out on one-night stands. They'll promise you bits of everything, including the promised land. Don't wanna be no two-time losers. We just can't let it happen again. They like to call us underachievers, but the same thing was said about them. We gotta live for the night, live for the day, 'cause we have to show them everything's okay. Well, let me show ya, we're alright. Well, let me hear it, we're alright. Come on and tell me we're alright. 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 We're
I still have that Zildjian swish.
There you
that
go.
I hit at the end of that.
And how about that? That's still a good sound.
I didn't have a gong at the time. Now I got a gong. That's the closest I came. This is Rock On Radio. I am Danny Coleman still. And I am here with Frank Pinto, Tom Krawiec, Dave Hart. There you go. I got that one right.
Gotta have heart.
And Art Varga from the film due out January 31st. Screening, the first screenings at the Acme Screening Room in Lambertville. First couple shows are sold out, you said, right?
That's right.
And you have ones coming up at the Starving Artist, our man Todd.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's March 15th, and there are reservations available.
There you go. Reservations. I always have reservations.
Yeah.
Many people have reservations
So do I.
about me. See?
See? She saw that coming. She was lining up that one, and I know it's coming.
When did you get off the reservation?
I'm surprised she hasn't cracked a joke about my advanced age yet, given the fact we're
I
talking about this old,
Oh,
all
yeah.
this old stuff.
I did though. I said I saw you crossing the Delaware.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
The original.
The original. It came up with the crossing of the Delaware, so I saw
She
you made the
thinks-
trailer.
She thinks I was a waiter at the Last Supper. You know what I'm saying?
You were.
Anyway, so Art, what? You're right
Frank
over there,
is
Frank.
invited back anytime.
I'll be here.
I'll be here. You might still be here tomorrow. I don't.
Okay.
So I know that whenever, like, I've been fortunate enough to have a 10th and a 15th anniversary party for this radio show. After 10, I didn't think I was going to make it to 15. After 15, I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be here.
We talked about that one time.
About the anniversary shows.
No, just about how much longer.
Oh, that I'll be doing this.
Yeah.
Correct. But when I first, with the 10th, I put the word out. I need people who would like to perform, or any bands that would like to. And, I could only take so many. So I wound up ticking a lot of people off who thought they should be able to play this party. And I felt bad but I wound up only taking the bands who actually, supported me the most, or did things for the most, or were much more supportive of the program. And me as a radio
Host.
personality. And when you do something of this magnitude, I'm sure there were a lot of people who were like, oh, he didn't ask me. He didn't do this. Or, how can you have this without me? Because the ego is a very
Fragile.
evil thing. You know what I mean? So did you encounter any of that? And how did you decide what was and wasn't? And I'm not going to go any further because I don't want to wind up on the floor. But how did you decide to do that?
Yeah, I mean, that was always in the back of my mind about making sure that we fairly represented the scene and the people, and that there's always going to be people that are going to be left out. I mean, it's just, there is just so many people, so many musicians, so much to cover. But I had to start with the kernel of this film was the story of the musicians that did this song 40 years ago. And so really the story of the Trenton bigger music scene kind of came through their eyes initially. But it also, we branched out to other people as well. We spoke to Maury Muehleisen's sister Mary. We had other community voices that talked about the Trenton scene, yourself. We tried to get as much as we could to paint the picture, but at the end of the day, you run out of time, and you get to the point where say this is what we've captured from this group of people in this amount of time, and we think we have a story, and certainly the story is probably bigger than we're telling, but I think we have the nucleus of the messaging, and we've captured kind of the soul of the heart and soul of the Trenton music scene, and that's really what we're going for.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that part of my thing is, as you know, I put stuff out there all about Trenton music scene. I've tried to include everybody in every facet because it all counts to me. All of it, every player, whether they were playing 5 nights a week or playing in the garage, being the fact that they were in a band making music, that mattered to me. And I always try to be all-inclusive of everybody. So I'm hoping that my involvement with it, it's not an effect of what Art is putting out, but I'm compensating with what I do. They'll say, well, at least we know that Tommy's putting stuff out in conjunction with this, that we're all included.
Well, and before I forget or get thrown off track, Dave, you know what I'm talking about. About being thrown off track. It happens sometime to men of our great
group?
stature. Yes, of our
Advanced
ilk.
age.
Because Dave's going strangely quiet. I'm worried about him over there. First off, Art, thank you for wanting to do this.
Yes.
If people, somebody from this generation sees that and it inspires them to continue to play music or so on and so forth, and just bringing the history of what a lot of people don't realize to light, I think that was a great thing. So thank you for this entire film. And Tommy, thank you for what you do, because like Dave said at the beginning of the show, you're like the historian. You're the guy that people go to and to and who know the history of Trenton.
I'm just the oddly obsessed, I somehow I find this all fascinating, and I've always wanted to share it and everything.
had you not been working at Tommy McKenna's father's garage,
you would have been just a mere footnote.
I would have been a footnote. That's right.
But then again, all inclusive. I've always thought your contribution, you guys' contribution to the whole thing mattered to the whole story. And I've always wanted to share the story.
And I appreciate that. I mean, I appreciate all of the musicians. Yeah, it's kind of odd. Because at the time there was nothing funny about it, but it's kind of odd. Because growing up, I always considered myself a B-lister. Okay? Because the musicians I played with, they may not have been the most talented, but they had the most heart, and they had the most personality. And I'm not just talking about Valhalla, or, but anybody I jammed with. We weren't this Class A cover band. We weren't Ernie White. We weren't Joe Zook. We weren't Paul Plummerai, who oddly enough are now my peers. We weren't Deja Vu. There was a lot of things that we weren't, but what we were enthusiastic and willing to put ourselves out there, and I always felt like I was a notch below the talent of everybody else. And then eventually, and anybody who's listening to this, things tend to come full circle. And now I would have no problem getting behind the drums to sit down with you, Frank. Or I actually got, when I saw Joe Zook for the first time, I was 18 years old at the Windsor Manor, okay, out on Route 130 in Robbinsville, Heightstown, whatever, Heightstown.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting
East
there.
Windsor. Sorry.
East
Yeah,
Windsor.
in East Windsor. And I sat there, and I remember thinking, wow, so this is what all the hype's about, and Zookie was up there just so smooth, And several years back, they were having a blues jam at Cooper's on Wednesday nights, and Lance says to me, he goes, why don't you go on up and play with Zook? You don't have a drummer for this set. And I went up there, and I got to play drums with Joe Zook, and I was like, son of a gun. It's like, for me, that was a bucket list item.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
a pin, So to have that all documented, by you guys, I think is just, to me, it means the world. Like I said, somebody out in Idaho may not think, what the heck is this?
But they have their own.
But exactly.
You
And for us to have this, I think it's really cool what you guys have done.
And like the way you're saying, you felt kind of like out of the thing. Think about me. I wasn't even a musician. I was just a fan of these guys, or I was a roadie for these guys and stuff. But being around them and absorbing, the friendship and the brotherhood and everything, I'm kind of a peer of them guys now, and I'm not sure I'm a peer of them, but I kind of feel like a peer. They accept me,
Exactly.
as my, whatever it is that I do that fits in with what they do, So for me, it's a thrill just to be able to, for Frank say, Tommy, go up and sing a verse, or sing the chorus, record it. So I'm like, wow, I got to sing with like my heroes, like this is pretty cool. Art captured it on film. Like, thank God he got that. Maybe I won't make the cutting room floor, But
Tommy's a pretty good singer. He's a little underrated, underrates himself.
Well, before things get away from us, you brought a whole bunch of music, so let's do
let me see what I got on my list to do and stuff.
Can I add one thing before we go to
You go right ahead, Dave.
Okay,
Dave,
go
you
ahead,
are my
brother
man.
Dave.
You are my man.
I
Dave.
want to
Go
say
ahead.
something in defense of Art and the entire Trenton Makes music team.
I'll say, what'd you guys do? Usually people are defending me. What are you doing?
The fact that I think it's worth understanding that the fact that there is so much talent that has been in this town, in the greater Trenton area,
Right.
let's use that term, for the last 40, 50, 60 years. It's a credit to the team, and especially Art, that we can get as much as we can get in an hour and 15-minute music, because there is so much more. It's impossible.
You could
to
do an
get all
hour and
that stuff.
15 just on every individual act.
Exactly.
Or more.
So
Yeah.
if there's anyone who's missing, it's not because you ended up on a cutting room floor. It's just that there is so much to cover in an hour and 15 minutes. We had to make decisions on the fly, and
like-
most of it was related to our experiences with the musicians and the people and the places in the area.
Right.
It's like the song You know, if we put everybody, the song would be a half hour. It'd be a rock opera. You know what I mean?
So maybe
not six. It's already 6.5 minutes. You know. You know what I'm saying?
and wait till you hear the song. When Frank first sent me the demo of the song and said, "Okay, here's what we're working on. Here's the song that we're going to record," I sat there and I literally had tears in my eyes because the song is basically everything I've been preaching all these years comes together in this song. So wait till you hear. You know, it really is a tribute to the whole thing.
Okay, so I saw you giving Claire a hand signal.
Well, you're not going to get that song. You're going to have to wait to see the film to get that song. That's deep on the rest.
Art doesn't want it leaked out.
But like,
this place is like Vegas, man. There's not a lot of stuff coming out of here.
Close to the vest. Now this is going to be a song by an artist we all know and love, and who does great music and inspires us all. And it's one where he professes that, you know what? If somebody's not going to do it for you, you're going to do it all by yourself. Mr. Frank Pinto.
Yeah, here.
What's it called?
This song is called Do It All By Yourself.
Which was written with Mr. Hart over there.
He gives me too much credit.
That's a. Thank you for that, Dave. See, I told you, Dave is my number one guy.
Dave's the best.
It's like
we could be Abbott and Costello if you didn't have Claire.
You can fill in anytime.
Yeah. See how quick she is to ditch me? You know what? I also want to point out the fact that Art Now I've known Frank since I was 18. And it's funny because then we drifted apart, but then I ran into him while I was working for UPS.
Yes.
He worked for Mercer County, and I'm like, it looks like Frank Pinto. That is Frank Pinto, and and then we reconnected, and Tommy, I've known probably for 10, 15 years or more. Well, actually, if you go back to when I was 12.
Yeah, just kind of, we've kind of like this, along. We've been always parallel and somehow tied together. We weren't always best of friends, but he knew who I was. I knew who he was.
And right?
And you and Dave went to grammar school together, right?
They went to different schools together.
Kindergarten.
Dave and I built the schools that you guys went to together. Yeah.
Brothers
But
from different mothers.
the thing that I find the funniest about that is I've known you guys like forever, and Art's been on this show more than both of you combined.
Art really that was funny when Art, I put all that stuff on YouTube and I don't even know if anybody even listens or looks or but Art goes, hey, I listened to that show that you did with Danny Coleman. That was really good. And I'm like, it was? Hey, thanks. Finally got some feedback.
That's it on WWFN.
We had fun doing that show. That was one of the most fun times I had doing an interview with you because it was very comfortable talking to you.
Well, I appreciate you giving me your time.
It was a great time. That was great.
That day. So, Dave, it's nothing like that interview you did earlier today.
No. What interview?
Or any I'll do again.
Welcome to Rock On Radio.
That's funny right there. Now, well, Dave, I'm really surprised though. As you see, I run a very strict and tight ship here. I didn't, that Frank can't handle it over there.
This is a tight ship.
I'm starting to get a cramp in my face.
Poor Frank.
Don't go hurting yourself. I got you booked on a few jobs coming up. Don't forget.
That's right. That's right.
We need you.
You
We
need
got
to save some of this for your laugh track.
For the laugh track. Well, I've already got clips of Madison, giving us an endorsement for Lillipies, and then she. So I could always put a laugh track in too, I suppose.
You don't need a laugh track.
So,
Yeah.
so Art, what was the toughest part about making the film? Was there anything difficult? Did you?
I would say the hardest part is finishing it.
Okay. Knowing when you had enough, or the actual putting it together?
Because, again, I do everything. I'm the filmer. I'm the audio guy. I do the editing. And, you get to a point where, it looks pretty good, and then you go, but wait a minute, I can do, and it's just hard to say, okay, that's it, and I'm going to cut it. And we had these guys over to the studio this morning just doing some final voiceovers because, I didn't like some. So I think just kind of saying, hey, where do we say this is it? This is the story that we're going to present. So, but other than that, I mean, these guys,
It's kind of like a song. What do you leave in? What do you take out?
But the thing was, this was so much fun. I mean, I think all of us were just like, when I met with these guys up front, the first thing I told them, I said, look, I don't know where this is going because we really didn't. We didn't, it evolved. It started with, the story of the song.
This show.
And
I never know where to go.
And then it grew and it grew and it grew. But I said, look, at the beginning, at the worst, we're going to get a new song out of it, whether it's good or bad, and we're going to have some fun, and we all got along really great together, and so it was. And I got to meet all these.
Nuts?
I got to meet a lot of great musicians.
Yeah,
from
he's
Trenton
expanding his whole Trenton connections and everything. He got to see Ernie White's Christmas extravaganza this year.
Oh, he went this year?
And I said, what did you think of that? Because the proud father over here is. What do you think of my band over here? Because Ernie had a great show this year. He had a great turnout of people, and come on, you put on stage Rioch and Sacco and Ernie White and Joey Kramer and Jerry Monk and Joe Vidala comes in and Johnny Bushnell comes in.
Oh, Joey show up? Oh, nice.
Dude, John Bushnell and Ernie pulling off, they're doing their annual guitar medley and stuff where the two of the best guitar players this city has ever seen. I'm not going to rank. two of the best guitar players the city has ever seen, and they're just blowing the room away. And I had a smile like up to here. My wife's like, "You're loving this, aren't you?" I said, "Oh my God, this is playing behind the back, doing all the geek tricks, you know."
And as you should, because I remember one of the Jam for Life that I was emceeing at, I think it was Row at the time, before it became Cooper's. Ernie, Paul, Zook, and Papa Carl.
Yeah.
All got together and did an acoustic guitar jam. And I'm like, this is something you never see.
And at one time, it was all kind of commonplace because guys would pop in and pop out. So being that it's happening now is a rarity, and it's a very special moment and everything. And me being a fan of these guys, you know, just blown away, you know, at everything that was going on, you know.
But we're lucky to still have these guys.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
the whole point of this
It
thing.
is.
I remember
50 years later, we're still doing it.
Yeah.
I seen Tom Cunningham's post, and I said, look, you know, it kind of surprised me. You know,
That was that long?
yeah, you know, wow, 40 years ago, 85, 25, okay.
Yeah.
yeah, 1985 seems like yesterday.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you know,
don't do the math.
And you know what I did? I took that post, I posted it, and I wrote on there, I said, look at this crew, right? Look at this crew. And we're still doing it, too, which is true. Hey, write that down.
and still doing it at a respectable, high quality level. They're not, you know, some hacks or any, you know, you go see Joe and you see Paul, and you're like, you know, there's still young people now or there should be more young people coming out and staring at their fingers, watching how they're doing this stuff. I just wish it was that way,
Well,
you know?
they're just staring at their TVs.
Playing video games.
Not everybody, though. There are a younger crew that's doing it. You know.
And that's why I think it's so important, Art, what you're doing here, what you guys have done with this thing, this documentary, you know, Listen Up, Trenton Makes Music is hopefully it inspires some generations to say, you know what, when I'm that age, I want to be in a documentary about my music scene or inspire somebody to pick up music. Now I know you had to interview Randy now. No,
We had a pink eye emergency. We had an interview set up with him, and Randy had a medical issue that day. And
Got Todd.
That's
Got
true.
Todd in
You
there.
got Todd the Mod.
Yep, Todd the Mod's in there.
Yeah.
But we did try to get Randy, but you know he wasn't. He was.
I think
We didn't want to catch the pink eye, so.
I think he'd be very happy though with the people that he did interview because he's really got some of the key players, and of course the key players are talking about other key players of the whole situation. So it's not just those. They're
Well, that's a shame. Then
We did.
Did you do a city garden? Is there a city garden?
Oh,
We cover
We
City
had
Garden.
a little walkthrough.
we walked
that's
through
in
the
a trailer,
wall, yeah.
right?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
We went through
right.
one of the scariest
Yeah,
things
no
I've ever
cover.
done.
Yeah, the
No,
roof
definitely
falling
not.
in, for
There's
God's
there's
sake.
barely any cover on the roof, is what you're saying. It was kind of dicey walking around in there and stuff, but
especially going into where when the place first opened and the music.
the
was
small
in
back
that
room,
front room.
or front room, yeah.
And this the whole thing, it was dipping down
You-
that
do-
little walkway in there.
Do you know what I would like to see? In all honesty, some years back, I interviewed the councilwoman and a woman who was in charge of this. They were spearheading a fund to renovate, rejuvenate, and reopen the Turf Club in Asbury Park.
Oh, wow.
The building was just 4 walls. There was no roof. But the Turf Club was where every black act performed. They would hit New York,
Yep.
Asbury Park, Philadelphia. Where Philadelphia, Asbury Park, New York.
The Chitlin tour,
The
wasn't
Chitlin
it?
Circuit or something they called it.
I'll throw in a little more history. when we're done.
And it was on Springbrook Avenue. And they wanted to turn it into a museum of Asbury Park music.
Right.
And they've received some help, I think, from Springsteen. I don't know how much or how little, but in some way he's helped with that. and they're raising funds to put a roof back on, and they want to make it like an interactive museum, and they also want to archive all the documents that came out of the music scene there online, so anybody can go in and look them up. I would love to see somebody.
Somebody is actually in the works. Art has, what's his name that's working on the
Renovate City Garden, turn it into a Trenton Music Museum.
Music Museum. The gentleman we were
Paul
talking about.
Zyke.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, a gentleman named Paul Zyke reached out to me when he, I guess, caught wind of what we were doing, and he is working with a number of other people to put together a Trenton Music Museum.
Okay.
And from what my recollection is of the conversation, they don't have like a physical space yet. They're looking for that, but right now they're doing like pop-up kind of stuff, and he'll
that's
be
great.
coming to the show, and I want to introduce him to Tommy because obviously they have, a lot in common. But,
Yeah.
But there's something brewing with that.
Oh, good. See? I'm a seer, Dave.
And
I'm one of them there psychos. I can predict the
You
future.
could have been a contender.
I could have been.
and with all the stuff that I have, I know where it's going now. My wife will be very happy to know that the stuff that I have with all this Trenton stuff that I've saved over the years has a nice place to go. So if it proceeds in a positive manner, I'll probably end up contributing what I have and everything.
I donated a rifle from the Civil War to the Hamilton
There you
Civil
go.
War Museum. So why
There
not?
you- why not? You know?
Are you kidding?
Now, what's so funny about that, Frank?
I don't know what to believe.
Welcome to my world.
Let me
I don't know what to believe.
let me throw you back
That's the
to
truth.
let me throw you back to a quick story about the Chitlin Circuit. Okay, you were talking about the Chitlin Circuit between New York and Philadelphia. There was a place out in Lawrenceville on Eggert's Crossing Road where the train tracks cross Eggert's Crossing Road.
Okay.
The place was called The Crossings, and it was part of the Chitlin Circuit where groups would perform as they were moving through, from New York to Philadelphia. So I met Richie Cole years ago, and I mentioned that when I was a little kid, I remember riding my bike with my friend to go to Lanzy's Lounge outside. I was probably 15, and we sat outside Lanzy's Lounge on Saturday night listening to Richie Cole through the wall, playing jazz inside Lanzy's. And he goes, "It's funny you say that. When I was a kid, I used to ride my bike from Ewing out to the Crossings, and I would sit in the kitchen. They would let me sit in the kitchen by the doorway and listen to the Count Basie band play at the Chitlin Circuit." So it all
It all
comes around.
Because I was thinking when you were telling that story as a kid, I mean, I couldn't have been more than 7, 8 years old or younger. My neighbor across the street would say, I can still hear him saying to my dad, "Denny, you want to go with me? Where you going?" I'm heading over to Buddy Rick's to listen to Dick Grattan.
Yeah.
And Dick is still,
He's your good friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried. We were trying to get him involved. Well, I was trying to get him to talk to Art and everything, but that never transpired either.
I haven't seen or heard.
No, I haven't heard
him
for a
in quite
while.
I
And
was worried that maybe.
Oh no, he's a,
because I communicated with him.
Oh, good.
and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
gave
'cause
me
I talked to
permission
him
use some photographs and things.
Oh,
like that.
excellent. Yeah, Dick is a great guy. He really is. Let's do some more music before. What do we got? About 10, 15 minutes left?
Yes,
All right,
we do.
let me-
15.
Let me throw you one from the legendary Duke Williams and Extremes, track number 4. You can't go through a Trent music show without mentioning Duke.
Duke Williams. He, I can't remember. I had communicated with him some years back, and I can't remember what happened. It was a funny experience. Nothing ever came from it, but it was a funny experience. And from what I see in the trailer, he's still Duke.
Yes, he's Duke.
All right, what's this song called, Tom?
This song, this is First High of the Day. You're my first high of the day.
There you go. Here on Rock On Radio.
I said you're such a good thing that I found. You got my mind hooked around and my body turned upside down. And baby, 'cause you're my first high of the day, and ain't And darling, 'cause you're my first high of the day, ain't it now? 'Cause that's all the love that I need, just to see you smile. You make my life worthwhile. Come on, boy, hang on.
You better believe me when I tell you I really love you. Just like I believe you when you tell me that you don't care. Well, my friends tried to tell me you were just no good, but I had to find out for myself. Well, I felt so hard, just like you knew that I would, and baby, you fell for someone else. 'Cause baby, you were born to break my heart. Baby, baby, you were born to break my heart. Can you remember how it felt, babe, to be together? And do you remember when you told me how you cared? Well, I knew from the start that you were too damn good to last forever. And sure enough, well, I guess I knew that you were looking out for you, but I was too much in love. 'Cause baby, you were born to break my heart. Oh, baby, 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 you were born to break my heart. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, my friends all say that you're still no good, but baby, I wonder now and then. 'Cause I can't help thinking since you did it once before that you could do it all again. Baby, baby, you were born to break my heart. Baby, 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 you were born to break my heart. Baby, 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 you were born to break my heart. Yeah, 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 yeah.
There we go. That was Bruce Foster.
That's my friend Bruce Foster. That was from his first album on Millennium Records, a division of Casablanca and stuff. But sadly, as all things go with these big record companies, and especially with Casablanca, that had some of its issues in the late 70s. If you weren't Kiss and Donna Summer and the Village People, things were disappearing.
Angel.
Angel, exactly. Yeah, they all kind of got
This
lost
is
in
actually
each
a
other.
rehearsal space. Did you know that?
Ah, how about that? That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
This is where they come because Charlie, who was partners with Bruce in
Right.
Deko Entertainment, is the keyboard player for Angel.
Oh, really?
So
Bruce
this is where they
plays with
rehearse.
Yeah.
Bruce plays with them too, right? Angel?
No,
Oh, he's not.
no, he just comes out here and watches them rehearse. I think. tells him to turn down. But yeah, that was Bruce Foster, right? So one of the things that like you had said earlier, or, all of you, that we could sit here for hours talking about the music and the music scene and all that stuff from when we were younger.
And we don't even scrape the surface.
True. No, you're very true. And when I think it's in the trailer on the way to City Gardens, you said, this is hallowed ground.
Yeah.
There's so much for me, the Trenton music scene. Even though I grew up off Chambers and Liberty, so I was really in Trenton pretty much.
It's all Trenton. When you get down to it, it's all Trenton.
When I was a kid, we didn't even have a post office.
No.
The post office on 130 didn't exist.
Yeah.
My mail went to the main post office on East State Street by City Hall. So
it's
Trenton. We were all one big melting pot, so to speak. My friend and former sponsor of this program, Oj, his father was the guy that brought Sinatra to the Armory or the War Memorial. I can't.
Probably the War Memorial.
Yeah.
But that was back in the 50s.
George O'Gorman?
I had a friend who looked just like him but smaller, so we used to call him Little Oj.
Okay.
So
I was going to say, I didn't
there's
know.
another Trenton blast from the past, right? Oj from the sports section of the Trentonian.
Yep.
Paul Plumrye's uncle used to be a manager to a lot of guys like that to thing. And Frank Sinatra would go and eat dinner over at their house up in North Trenton on Paul Ave. I think around Paul Ave. Joe Plumrye, Paul's cousin, tells us stories about that where Sinatra would be at their house eating spaghetti. The mom would make spaghetti for Frank Sinatra and everything. So there's connections.
No, it does, because my buddy, his dad was the first one to bring him. The first time he ever performed in Trenton, his father, because he's got the signed sheet music and everything.
That's awesome.
So, but there's one more song we want to get to, and it wouldn't be complete if we didn't throw something from Ernie in.
If I didn't put something from Ernie White, it wouldn't be Trenton music. So how about something from Ernie's album with the band Aviator? This is something called Come Back.
Here on Rock On Radio.
When I
There we go. Ernie White and Aviator.
Love that album.
Fantastic. You know, I heard you talking something about Japan.
Yeah.
They were big in Japan at the time.
Well, you know what's funny about that? Todd the Mod from Starving Artist, his band Smart Remarks. I wound up working with their drummer, Tony Barberlace, at UPS for quite a few years.
God bless you.
When I was a 17-year-old kid, I needed something to help, lug my drums around, and I bought Tony's 3-speed 73 Chevy van.
I worked gigs in that.
3-speed on the column.
I worked gigs in that van.
Right? And it was mine. I bought it. And so I was telling Todd, I remember Smart Remarks. I remember you guys. And I told him that story. He says, I saw one of our 45s online. Apparently, somebody in Japan is buying them for like $200 a piece. I wish I had some. And I'm like, well, I got 2. They came with the van.
There's bonus. It's funny because there was a band from Trenton called St. Anthony's Fire, and they put out this psych rock album. It was really heavy stuff. Greg Ohm, psych rock. And their records, like this album put out, it was a minimal, but the psych rock music people found it. And years ago, that thing was selling for like $300, $400.
It's $500 in
Yeah.
Germany, in
Yeah,
Europe.
these records were like,
Yeah.
And you were saying like Ernie's, in Japan, the record was real big in Japan. Well, Bruce Foster was having hits, I think, like in Australia or something on stuff from his album, and it's like, but he didn't have a plane ticket to get there to go out and tour. Like, couldn't afford the plane ticket to get there.
Exactly. Well, guys, I got to wrap it up. Again, the film is January 31st. What are the dates?
Yeah, so the next show that's available is February 7th at the Acme Theater in Lambertville, and also on March 15th at Starving Artists Cafe. Reservations, it's not a ticket sale per se, it's just making a reservation for the dinner and the show. Yeah, come on out and see the film. I think everyone will enjoy it. And thank you, Danny and Claire, for having us on.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much
for coming back. Thank you guys for what you do. Who we have next week, Claire? Jason Didner. He's writing some kind of history book about music in Asbury Park as well, so that'll be interesting.
Nice.
Back-to-back history. All this education.
Yeah, you're learning something.
Well, I look forward to seeing you guys at the premiere. And again, thank you so much. So until next week, rock on! Hi, this is Danny Coleman, the host of Rock On Radio, the Rock On Radio Indie Hour, and Danny Coleman's Got the Blues. If you ever want to get in touch with me or find out more about me and my programs, please visit DCROR.com. That's the quick link for Danny Coleman's RockOnRadio.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support.